Hey, Dorothy, where's Diddy? Diddy? You know, Mars. I think he's practicing bicycle kicks alone in the backyard. Oh, look, he left his microphone. I think he was recording a new episode of Stoppage Time. What's that? Oh, it's the Upper 90 Club's evergreen content series featuring stories and interviews surrounding the Columbus Crew. Where can I listen to it? I don't know. Wherever you get postcards? Postcats? Podcasts?
Girls, you gotta see what I'm working on outside. What are you doing in here?
I'm making a new podcast.
All right. Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars, and this is episode 14 of the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends would discuss the Columbus Crew. But there's a few other things going on. First, Ben's sick, so we'll get an update from him at some point, but he's not currently here with us in the club. Second, communications director for the Nordecke, Chris LaMacchia, joins us in the club for a Nordecke check. We're going to have to workshop this because I want to be doing this periodically throughout the season, so maybe something we could talk about is how we can adequately or effectively brand this segment. And third, the club reacts to Argentina's shock of Le Bleu in the World Cup final. Deja vu of the MLS Cup final, if you ask me. With me in the club are Mort, Trey, and Haas. Say Feliz Navidad, guys.
Feliz Navidad.
Go you.
Hola. Hola.
I know I'm early, but I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Mort and Trey, that is. Haas, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so every Christmas we used to do this, like, I don't know if it was on Christmas, but we would go out and I had some Haasmas speech that I would give because, yes, Haas's birthday is the same as many's Lord and Savior. So what are you guys doing for the holidays? Mort?
I gotta have some downtime. I'm guessing I would just I've recorded all the games from last year for the crew. I'm gonna go sit down and have a deep down analysis, go through every play, curse a lot and drink a lot and doing that thing. No.
It's a tie. It's a tie.
No, I gotta do as little as possible. I'm taking some time off. It's gonna knock back to nothing.
Awesome. What about you, Trey?
Ooh, fun one this year. We're going to be finding out the gender of the third baby.
It's a girl.
We don't know, Mort. We don't know yet. You don't know yet. I know you don't know. So that'll be fun. We're going to find out on Friday. So spend some time with the family on Christmas and, yeah, enjoy time.
I'm just thinking, like, every time that I've ever found out it was a girl. And same for Ben. So,
yep.
Good luck to you. Haas?
Taking a week or so off of work, spending some time in Cleveland with some family, drinking. Should be fun.
Okay. All right.
Just drinking exhausting, huh?
Yeah. Starting to get that
Take
way.
off time from work to drink and take off time from drinking to get back to work. All right. Well, I'm excited to get started with Chris LaMacchia. So let's keep things moving. Couple quick announcements. We published a Stoppage Time episode with Hattie Raphael from the Ball is Round CF Montreal podcast. We do a deep dive on the Crew's newly hired coach, Wilfried Nancy. So check that out. Our episode next week will be another Stoppage Time installment. It's our interview with Tyler Phillips, the Columbus Crew's manager of supporter relations. So check that one out. Make sure you listen on your new beats or whatever the big man brings you next Sunday. So I guess this is where we should check in with Ben. We can't elaborate on his condition due to HIPAA requirements, but Ben, tell us how you're doing.
Hey guys, it's Ben again, just leaving another message. I hope I'm still part of the pod. I haven't really heard from you guys recently. I've been logging on and I've been texting and emailing and haven't heard back, but yeah, I don't know. Just let me know when we're doing the pod again. Talk to you soon.
Yikes. Okay, guys, let's get into it with Chris LaMacchia, our first Nordecke check. You gotta help me with this. Any ideas? Any ideas for this?
Nordecke check.
All right, we'll figure it out. Chris is the communications director for the Nordecke and sits on their board of directors. We're lucky to have him. Chris, welcome to the club.
Thanks very much. Happy to be here.
So before he checked out, or maybe after he checked out, Ben wrote us a few prompts to get things started with you. I think his meds had already kicked in, but in the interest of authenticity to his vision, his artistic vision, I thought I'd just fire these questions at you. No comment or pleading the fifth are acceptable answers. So let's get started. Again, we've got Chris LaMacchia, the communications director for the Nordecke, and we're going to ask him these important questions. First, why are fantasy movies not real movies?
I knew that one would come up. Okay, so let me clarify. Let me be clear. The statement that I made was that Marvel movies are not real movies, and I subscribe to the Martin Scorsese and other school of thought that they are more like a theme park than they are like cinema. It's not that they're not good movies; they're just not high quality movies.
Yeah, I think you're signing up for an experience. You know, it's a known product. Yep. It's like a Big Mac. You know, you go for the feeling that you get after you consume it. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I like it. I like that. It's not French dining, you know.
Right.
Scorsese in his apology letter after he got absolutely grilled for saying that, said that there's worldwide audio-visual entertainment and then there's cinema. There is overlap from time to time, but that's becoming increasingly rare. And that pretty well sums up my feelings with it.
Amen. All right, well, so here's another one, and I know I'm going to get you with this one. Since Macchia means spot in Italian, should we call you... should we call the penalty spot LaMacchia?
I would prefer not. The first thing that comes to mind every time I think of a penalty spot is the old Guillermo Barros Scalotto quote that they broke the floor, and I would prefer that nobody break my face.
Okay. Another great answer. All right. Well, so let's get real. You know, tell us about your history with the crew, the team. I mean, you know, when we got on here before we started recording, you know, I haven't been to too many games in the last few years, but because I'm out of town, but gosh, I know you.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever formally met, but
I'm sure that we've shared a beer somewhere or another. We go way back like recliners.
So tell us your origin story.
Yeah. So I grew up. I'm not an original 96 fan. I'll admit that right off the bat. My first game was in 1999 at Crew Stadium against the Kansas City Wizards. And they may have even been the Wiz at that point. I can't recall. I was a senior in high school. And I was in high school in Kentucky. My high school soccer team came up to Columbus and went to a game. And we, just by the luck of the draw, were staying in the team hotel where the Wiz were staying. And I got Alexi Lawless's autograph that day. And it was great. And I'm sure that it has only gone down in value since then.
Yeah. The value shifts with the length of his beard. So
you're right. And
your SOL.
Exactly.
And the hairline.
And the costume that he's wearing. And so after, I graduated high school, I moved back to Columbus in 2001 and went to, a handful of games here and there between 2001, 2008. And then again, by an alignment of the stars and fate of the soccer gods, a buddy of mine invited me to go play foosball at a bar he knew of on campus on a Saturday. And that Saturday happened to be the 2008 home opener, and that bar happened to be Ruby Tuesdays. And the rest, as they say, is history. We hung out with the Hudson Street Hooligans. We got sucked into and went to the crew match. All hell broke loose against Toronto that day, as we all remember. And there was like a span of 5 or 6 years where I didn't miss a home game and went to 3 or 4 away games every year. And then in like 2015, I kind of stepped back a little bit. Just some other stuff in my life was going on, and I didn't have the same amount of time for the crew. I still had season tickets, and I still went to, but I wasn't as involved with HSH as I had been and all that. I stepped back from the supporter group side of it. And then we all went through the saga in 2017. And that brought me back in a little bit. And then I became one of those people that complained about everything Nordecke on the internet in late 2020. And then in 2021, I decided I was going to run for the board, put my money where my mouth was.
Yeah.
Since I complain all the time, I might as well do something about it, right? And then ran for a board spot, and here I am.
Yeah, so I've been watching from afar I moved away in 2016, I think. And a lot of the Nordecke administrative structure is kind of foreign to me. Maybe it was around when I was there. I, like you, I don't know. I started having kids, and so we kind of, I think we moved like one or two sections over, because it was just, we were getting older, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, you remember we used to be in there playing the drums and everything else, but
yeah.
Give us the overview of what, I'm asking, for the listener, but for myself, like tell us high level, what is the Nordecke as an organization, and how does it fit into the larger team and experience?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And a lot of people ask that question. I really should be better at the answer I'm about to give than I am. So there's the Nordecke Supporters Group, which is a registered 501c7 supporters group here in the state of Ohio. We are an actual legitimate nonprofit. There is the Nordecke section of the stadium, which is the north end of the stadium, of the new stadium of lower.com. That seats 3,800 people. And there is a lot of overlap between the two. A person can be a season ticket holder with a seat, quote unquote, seat in the Nordecke section, but not be a Nordecke member, Nordecke organization member. And a person could be a Nordecke organization member, but not be a season ticket holder in the Nordecke section of the stadium. And that is a confusing thing. It's the squares and rectangles thing. Every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square, right? Mm-hmm. And so that the Nordecke organization, the supporters group, as we're official, or supporters collective, as we're known, is the group that puts up the tifos. We fund the tifos. We sell tickets in the section to fund the tifos. We fund and organize away trips. Watch
tifos
parties.
Are like the mega banners, right?
Sorry, yeah. Tifo is the gigantic banners. And in the new stadium, there's the capability to do, I think it's 9 80-foot tall banners.
I was going to ask you the size. It's larger than the New York City FC field.
Yes, it is much larger than the New York City FC championship banner, but only by like a few feet. We were all real worried that they were going to beat us, but dodged that bullet. So the Nordecke section is actually the second largest supporter section in the league. By number of seats. Orlando has the largest, and they beat us by like 150 seats. It's something silly. But physically, it's like top 3. So we have the physical space. We have more physical space than the vast majority of other teams. So we can do bigger, better, greater tifos, especially compared to what we were doing when we were in the north corner at Mafre or Historic or whatever we're going to call it this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can tifo is the Italian, and I don't know the root of the word, but it's an Italian term for the giant art displays. The Nordecke organization, the collective, we design, produce, fund, and hang those in the stadium. Like I said, we do watch parties, we do away events, when we go to Cincinnati and invade their house, and then we tie with them. Those are always fun trips. There are the block parties on Battelle Plaza that we do with the marches to the match. So the Nordecke organization organizes all of that extracurricular activity that goes along with the soccer game.
Do you guys do the Chicago game too? Do we see you guys up here?
Yeah. So Crew Soccer Nation is a big part of the Nordecke. And there's a great supporters group in Chicago, 3-1 Crew. I think that's a play on the
that's
Chicago
right.
area
That's
code.
right. Yeah, we saw them.
And so they organize it and they do the logistics of it, but the Nordecke helps fund that for them. You know, we donate some funds so they can buy more hot dogs and an extra keg of beer and all that. We do the same in Charlotte for Mecklenburg Massive. We do the same in Denver with Mile High Massive. And, you know, anywhere there's a supporters group that wants to put on a watch party for an away Crew game, the Nordecke is there, both, you know, because there's always people traveling, right? But then we are also happy to help fund those events. It's when I say it's a supporters collective, that's what that means, is that we're a collective of supporters groups, rather than a supporters group in and of itself.
So the nonprofit itself as an entity, or even pre-official formation, how long has that been going on as its current form generally?
Yeah, little known fun fact. Crew Union was a nonprofit pretty much from the day that they came into formation.
Okay.
Whereas the Hudson Street Hooligans were just a bunch of hooligans that got together and drank beer, and reading and writing is not as fun as fighting, right?
Right.
So there's been an actual nonprofit legal entity involved in this whole party that we call Crew fandom since almost the formation of the Nordecke. If it wasn't in 2008, it was definitely 2009. And then I think it was 2011 when HSH we got our. I was on the board of HSH way back in the day, so that's why I say we got our 501c3 status. I could look it up, but I don't want to take the time to do it right now. And then, you know, Yellow Nation Army came along and La Turbina, and there have always been you know, some legal recognition there as far as those nonprofit statuses.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you. When did the Nordecke go from being like an adjective to like a noun in the new stadium? Like, when did it, like exactly what you're saying? It was La Tribuna, it was HSH, it was Union, you know, you name it. And then now it's
right. So,
Nordecke.
And that's where that overlap of the section and the group kind of comes in. Back in the day when we were at Maffrey, I'm going to call it Maffrey for argument's sake here. When we were at Maffrey, the Nordecke described the corner that all the supporters groups gathered in, right?
Yes.
Then it was the corner. It literally means north corner.
Yep.
Then when after Save the Crew and all of that, after the saga, the Nordecke became a noun as well as that adjective. The supporters groups came together under one umbrella that was then known as the Nordecke Supporters Group, Supporters Collective. And so I think it was probably 2019, 2020 that noun came into place rather than just an adjective. And then, of course, you know, the move to the new stadium, lower.com, where it's an adjective, it's a noun, it's a curse word. It's a way of life, right? Those damn Nordecke kids. Then it became bigger than any of us had ever planned on it.
And so what has the growth trajectory been like? I mean, I don't know what perspective you have from before you joined the board, but like what is how? I think you've kind of described how it started, and you know, tell us about where you are now and what you expect, or you know, what the board's goals are.
Yeah, absolutely. So the jump from Maffrey to lower.com was it doubled the size of the section. We went from 1,400 seats in the corner, in the Nordecke corner, to, like I said, 3,800, 3,500 in the north end of the new stadium. So that instantly, literally, you know, from one season to the next, double the size of the audience. The goal, the overarching dream state goal, is to have everyone who is a ticket holder in the north end of the stadium also be a Nordecke group member, right? A dues paying member. But that's the goal for every supporters group, supporters collective across not just MLS, but around the world. There are some teams, especially in Germany, where you can't get tickets in the section unless you're a member of the group, right? The EPL and England is like that as well. You can't get tickets in the supporter section unless you're a member of a particular group. So that's the dream. And getting from point A to point B is it's a ride. It's an experience. It's an educational thing. There's a lot of conversations that need to be had. There's a lot of relationship management involved. Not just with the fans, not just with the supporters, but with the front office, with everyone, players, team, Ty Phillips, KB, everybody involved. There are a lot of stakeholders and a lot of people who are interested in success. And the raw truth is that there are a few different definitions of success. But for the Nordecke organization, for our board, success is defined as everybody in the section is a member.
I can see how that could be a challenge. I have older British coworkers that like to go into the Nordecke section, have tickets there. Mm-hmm. They're definitely not a part of Nordecke, but they want to be in the rowdier section.
Right.
I also have friends with younger kids where they buy one ticket for Nordecke for their 14-year-old kid,
mm-hmm.
which is definitely not a member. So I can see how the battle can be a difficult one.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of it, but they're not really a part of it.
They're the people who want to be a part of it, but they want to spectate from inside the stands. There are people that want to be a part of it, but they have a different vision of what a part of it is, of what it means to be a part of it. There are people who have no idea what they're getting into. They just bought the cheapest tickets they could find on Ticketmaster, right?
Well, that's what I was you said Ruby's. I mean, when we started going, Haas, I think it must have been 2007. We went to Ruby's. We were buying tickets every game. I mean, we were like season ticket holders because we bought a ticket every game from Blake Compton, like at a little fold-out table off to the side.
On the patio.
Yeah. And I had I would just text him, like that was the way we got season tickets in 2007 and maybe even 2008. I feel like we were just buying them every week. We bought them. Thank you, Blake.
Right.
Big shout out to Blake Compton, man. I think 2009 we went corporate and like
at least
paid
with
the
like a
man.
partial plan.
Yeah, paid the man. But so but I guess the point I'm trying to make is like I don't know if I would be as big of a fan if this is all speculative, but like would I be as big of a fan if I had to like become a member? I mean, maybe I would have, right? But like, do you think about that calculus of like, if the cost of entry is too high, then are we just shooting ourselves in the foot?
So it's not necessarily the cost of entry that we're concerned about. It's because we've shockingly not heard a lot of comments about cost. It's the barriers. It's I didn't know. It's how do I get involved? It's what's preventing people. And thankfully, the financial commitment is what is not something that we've found is preventing people from getting involved.
Yeah.
It's the education. And I think that, if I were the king of the world, if I were Tim Bezbachenko or KB or the chairman of the Nordecke board, I wouldn't make it a requirement that you have to be a Nordecke member that you don't have to be a Nordecke season ticket holder to be a member, but I would say that the other way around. If you want tickets in the section, you have to be a member of the group. And all it takes to be a member is a $30 membership fee, and that gets you're going to get your membership fee back in tchotchkes and beer discounts at our partners around town.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been signing up every year for the Nordecke. I don't know for how long, but one of the things I definitely look forward to are those tchotchkes, the scarves, the mugs, the whatever. But the scarves are always top notch.
We always get. I hesitated there because though we do always get top notch tchotchkes, and the scarves are always better than anyone else in the league, if you ask me. I presented an idea to the board this year actually I presented it last year, of a merch-free membership, because I don't want any more tchotchkes. I've got enough mugs. I've got enough sunglasses. I've got enough damn bandanas. Can I just have my membership? And so what I think we're going to do is we're going to do a donate your merch model, where you sign up for a membership, and then you can, if you don't want the tchotchkes like me, we will donate your tchotchkes to one of our community assist partners for, kids, or I don't know. We have a whole community director who has great ideas that I just can't even fathom. But I think that's what we're going to go with.
I love it.
Awesome. You know those big blue IKEA bags? I know that y'all can't see me gesticulating here, but I've got 3 of those big blue IKEA bags full of scarves and T-shirts and flags and bandanas and stuff. I just don't need any more.
So you mentioned the just coordination of setting up requirements and checking membership for ticket purchases, that kind of thing. I mean, I got to imagine that the club office holds the keys to success, for any initiative like that. How closely do you work with the front office, and, over what interval? Like what's the relationship like?
Yeah, we are in near constant communication with the front office, with the FO. We work very closely with, so the way it works is they sell us an allotment of tickets every year that we can then resell on a game by game, single game basis. So obviously they sell all the single tickets they sell all of the season tickets and we sell all the single game tickets. So we work really closely with them to coordinate those logistics, negotiate a price, yada, yada, yada. But then everything else, I talk to Ty Phillips 2 or 3 times a week, just one-off text message conversations, phone calls, whatever. We have a monthly kind of strategic meeting between the board and our partners in the front office, ranging from KB to Tim Miller, their director of communications. Dante Washington shows up on those calls sometimes, up and down their it's not, their executive leadership, but up and down their leadership structure for all of the initiatives they have going, so that we can stay in line, not in line, aligned on our initiatives, for things like the block party. The block party is one of those things where everybody has a vested interest in the success of that. So they want to make sure that they're helping to promote it as much as we're putting it together, because even though it's our event, they're invested in it. Just like the game is their event, we're invested in that, right? So yeah, we're in very nearly constant communication with them, even outside of those monthly meetings. The overall health of the relationship is good. It's a healthy partnership. I said it this past Saturday at our annual meeting. It's an adversarial relationship. We have different goals. Their goals are primarily financial. Our goals are support driven and non-financial. But it's a healthy partnership. We each understand the other's point of view, and we try to find common ground. There are times when they tell us to take a walk, and there are times when we tell them to take a walk, and there are times when, thankfully, nobody has stormed out of a meeting angry, but there are times when we just don't like each other very much. But we work past those difficulties and use them as opportunities to grow and strengthen the partnership.
Yeah, so I don't know what the block party is. Am I the only one?
So because I'm going to act as though that was a question.
It is. Yeah, that's a question. Tell me more.
Because the move to lower.com brought with it some challenges regarding tailgate space.
Oh, yeah.
That was not quickly or easily solved. The Nordecke org, previous board, the 2021 board, put together a solution where we effectively rent Battelle Plaza, which is the plaza that is in front of Nationwide Arena, that big block.
East side of Nationwide Arena, yeah.
That big brick area on the corner of Nationwide in front, right? And that's where we host our new pregame parties. And we did that obviously is because we can't tailgate. It's got its challenges because we can't tailgate, but I think that we've done well with adapting to that. The move downtown, it brought about, the Crew fans have been clamoring for a downtown stadium for 20 years. and the ability to, bar hop and all of those glorious things that we all wanted. And then, as Elon Musk said yesterday, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. When we got that downtown stadium and the ability to bar hop, we all realized, we can't tailgate anymore. Yeah. There's no giant parking lot. You can't grill brats in the Nationwide parking garage.
The Brazilian steakhouse didn't know what hit them.
Exactly. Boston's was completely unprepared on Christmas 2021. And so we've adapted, and we're still adapting. There are changes to come for the pregame routine for 2023 that we're all looking forward to. And we're all still trying to adapt to bring the family back together, if you will, because things have segmented. There are people who have gone off into they have worked out their own deal for their own tailgate space. There are people who just want to go to Boston's and have some pizza and beer. And there are people who want to go to Betty's. There are people who want to do the block party. And so we're trying to thread that needle and make sure that everyone has an option available for them and that no one feels obligated to do the other things that are available.
So quick question, and you may not have an answer for it, but do you see as that area, Astor Park gets more built up, the commercial spaces on the first floor, I assume it'll be bars, restaurants for at least a portion of it. Do you see that potentially shifting closer to the stadium? Or you might not know at this point, obviously, a little early.
No, I do. I do see it shifting closer to the stadium. The block party is, yes, I do see the block party or the pregame entertainment shifting down the street. There's always going to be a group of people, a segment of the population that would rather tailgate than bar hop. And there are good reasons for that. For example, people that have kids, that's bar culture is not great with a 9-year-old, right? And then there are people that don't have kids that also don't have any desire to stand in a parking lot and grill hot dogs, right? Mm-hmm. So there are always going to be different segments that want different things. The beautiful thing, did I just say beautiful? The beauty of the new situation is that there is literally something for everyone. There's Betty's, which is the world's best dive bar where the bartenders will literally yell at you if you do it wrong. There is Boston's, which is the most corporate bar that you could ever imagine, but that's great. There is going to be, I'm sure, I would bet dollars to donuts there's going to be a Fido in the first floor of the new Astor Park development. And if there's not going to be a Fido there, then somebody at Fido is silly. And then there's a tailgate. So there's literally going to be something for everyone. It's just going to take time. We're in, what's that quote from Apollo 13? There are 967 things that have to happen in order for this to work. And we're on step 8, right? It just takes time.
Nice reference. I like it. I like it. And in the same way that they brought that ship back, Kevin Bacon, all-star performance, Bill Paxton, stuck on Earth, still delivered. Tom Hanks. We saved the crew, using just a roll of duct tape and
we put a square peg in a round hole.
I feel like I was Bill Paxton because I was like, I was a million miles away, but it's just as gratifying to not see my friends explode in a fiery mess on their way back down to Austin or wherever they shoot those things off of. Okay, so just kind of before we wrap up, I do want to hear specifically about your role, communications director. I have an idea of what that is, but tell us kind of how you fit into the bigger puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely. So as the comms director, a lot of people think that I just send mean tweets or run an Instagram page or post in the Facebook group.
Or know exactly what Elon Musk said yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a large percentage of what I do. I do a lot of actual outbound communication with the membership base and with the fans through the various social media and email channels. All those annoying emails that all of our members get every Thursday throughout the season, repeating what's going on. All of those come from me. I write those. but it's also about building a communication strategy. It's about making sure that we as a group are properly communicating the initiatives and the things that are going on. It's about making sure that we are threading the needle of what our membership base is looking for versus what the overall larger crew fan base is looking for. It's a multifaceted role, but I send mean tweets when it all comes down to it. That's what I'll be remembered for.
So you're the snark of the organization.
Yeah, but it really is. It's something that, like I said, when the Nordecke took its new shape in 2020 and 2021, I was one of the biggest critics of the board. And a good friend of mine said, "You talk a whole lot of pre-court about them." And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, board elections are coming up. And I said, "Yeah, okay, yeah, no, that's a good point." And so it is an actual elected position. I ran, quote unquote. It wasn't like a full political campaign. I'm not trying to get that involved, but Cody Dunauer and I were both running for the communications director position. And by the grace of Guillermo, I got more votes, and you get to interview me tonight rather than Cody. Cody would have been great. Cody and I are I'm not going to say we're best friends, but we're close. We have a good relationship. And he would have been great at it. And I would have been just as critical of him in this role as he has been in me. To keep it, we've all got to keep each other honest, right?
Yeah.
So you've been involved with this in a long time. Just kind of curious, what keep you coming back? I mean, like, there's a lot of time and energy, your life and all that. What really gets you going in the morning?
It's emotional investment. I think that Columbus is the greatest city in the world, and I think that the Crew has the potential to be the greatest soccer team in the world. But I think that the Columbus Crew has the potential to be the most successful MLS franchise. I'm one of those weirdos who understands that it's a business first, an entertainment business first, that just happens to run a soccer team. And I think that the Columbus Crew has the potential to be the most successful franchise. I've applied for numerous jobs with them, and since they refuse to hire me, I'll just continue to be a fan and work to help make that a reality from this side of the fence. Because I think that it's the potential is there. We all need to work together to make it happen. And I love it. I absolutely freaking love it. I love the Nordecke. I love my family. I love the fact that I signed on to this, and we all can see each other, right? And I literally recognize 4 of your faces. I love everything about this Crew Soccer Nation family. Even the people that I don't always love, I love. That's what keeps me coming back, much to my wife's chagrin. She's like, "Wait, when is this podcast? What are you doing? What do you have to go do on Saturday?" Yes. I'll come home from a board meeting on Thursday night. We have, P.S., the Nordecke board meetings are the first Thursday of every month, and the first hour of them is open to the public. Let me know if you want more details about how to get involved in that. We would love to have people come out and share their opinions with us. But I'll come home from board meetings at like 10 o'clock, and my wife's like, "Where have you been?" I'm like, "It's soccer. It's Crew stuff. We're solving all the world's problems the first Thursday of every month." And it is a time suck. It is a source of heartburn, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Well, I heard you say.
Would you mind?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, would you mind plugging where and when those are?
Yes. So the Nordecke board meetings are the first Thursday of every month, and they start at 6. From 6 to 7 is an open session. We close it and go to executive session at 7 p.m. But that's a random and arbitrary number. If we get 35 people to show up, we're not going to kick everybody out of 7. We're going to try to work with it. They are at the Nordecke Tifo space, which is at 3215 Alberta Street. Let me make sure I got that address right. No, that's not the right address. My car knows. Like, I just put it in the GPS in my car. hang on for a second. Let me verify that. But anyway, they're at the Nordecke Tifo space, which, if you all don't know, we have a pretty great little spot where we get together and paint Tifo.
Yeah. I was going to ask if you have volunteers and... Yeah,
the volunteers, there's a great base of volunteers that get together and paint tifo whenever there's tifo needed. Sometimes they're, those 9 80-foot panels. Sometimes it's just painting 2 sticks. This year, there's going to be a big push to replace the rail banners that you all know and see. And so there is no requirement to come to those. Anybody is welcome. You don't have to be a Nordecke member or anything. We publish those times when we're going to paint. There's no artistic ability required as long as you can stay inside the lines. It's literally paint by numbers. The address
is 3201 Alberta Street.
3201 Alberta Street. Like I said, at 32 something.
You were close.
3201 Alberta Street. Yeah. My car knows how to get there. That's all that matters. And
first Thursday of the month. I think you're headed here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Google does that suggestion thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nordecke.com, right?
Yeah. Nordecke.com, Facebook, Nordecke, Twitter, Nordecke, Instagram, Nordecke, TikTok. We started a TikTok last year, and that proved to be something new for a lot of us. We're going to lean heavy into the video mediums this year, Instagram and TikTok. That's what the kiddos want, so that's what we're going to do. We got to build for the future, right?
Yeah, and I heard you say that that you think the Crew could be the greatest team in the world.
It is the greatest team in the world.
Well,
come on,
and there is like a path, right? I mean, through winning like lots of consecutive games, the right games, could make it to the Club World Cup and like win that. But then you said that it was, what did you say? You said something like, but it's also an entertainment experience, right?
It's an entertainment business in the form of a soccer team.
Yes. And so we're back to the art and the experience of the fantasy movie, right? Like this is like, we're in the same
Marvel
business, movies. Right. And we can do it. Like there is like a calculus and a strategy to creating the product, right? It's not dissimilar.
So I'm the world's biggest Ameri snob. I don't pay attention to hardly any soccer outside of these borders. I love MLS. It's my domestic top flight league, for better, for worse, right? But the chairman of Man City back in like 2015, maybe 2016, did an interview with some British sports rag, I can't remember which one, and said that Manchester City Football Group's biggest competitor is nobody but Disney. And that is exactly right.
Yeah.
They're competing with Disney for entertainment dollars, right? They're not competing with Arsenal for trophies. They're not competing with United for derbies, whatever. They are competing around the world. They have a team on every continent so that they can compete with Disney.
Yeah.
And that's what the Columbus Crew needs to be doing. They don't need to be competing with the Blue Jackets for butts and seats. They don't need to be competing with, we're going to compete with Cincinnati and Orlando and Red Bull and City Football Group, but they need to be competing with the theater downtown and movies, and it's an entertainment thing. We're fighting for entertainment dollars.
Yeah. Well, and the more successful you are, the more gratifying it is for all the members and all the fans. So
yeah, but let's, and this is a whole rabbit hole that I could go down for like the next 6 hours. So I'll try to keep it brief. It is extremely possible in 2022 to walk into a big time pro sports event. I don't mean a Clippers game. I mean like a big time pro sports event where the team loses and still walk out and had a great time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You walk in, you have an extremely wonderful experience because the lights and the sounds and the smells and everything was top notch, exciting as all hell. And even though the team loses, you still had a great time. You know who's a spectacular example of that? The Columbus Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets are a great example of that. You can go to a Blue Jackets game and they're going to lose. You know they're going to lose. But you know that you're going to have a great time doing it, right?
I think we were a good example of that this year.
Yeah.
The tie, so that I had always looking forward to it, even though I know we're going to tie it in the last minute.
The crew is a great example. You know, Caleb Porter did his absolute best to make sure we didn't win any games, and we all still had a blast.
Yes,
right? The man refused to play 2 attackers at one time. Like, he didn't want to score goals, but we all still had a great time. The fire was hot. The speakers were loud.
Yeah.
Tetris and Tommy Trumpet blew our eardrums. We all had a great day, except for Caleb Porter when he was like, you know what, guys, I'm not going to put Cucho and Lucas on at the same time.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. So I want to let's save some of the 6-hour rabbit hole for our next installment.
Sorry.
I was holding back.
Yeah.
I was holding back. I had a lineup of questions.
Well, hopefully we can do this again soon. Chris, I appreciate you making time for us. We are going to jump into our reaction to the World Cup final that was what is today? Monday. It was yesterday. And Ben's not here. Do you want to sit in his seat and stick around for a little bit while we kind of react to that game? And,
I'd be happy to.
And wrap this thing up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sit gingerly.
Let's go to our break. And when we come back, we'll talk about the World Cup final from yesterday.
Hey Columbus, are you looking for a place to get fit but don't know where to start? Pure Strength and Wellness has everything you need to achieve your personal goals. Whether it's focusing on fat reduction, increasing mobility while decreasing pain, or just generalized fitness and stamina, Pure Strength and Wellness provides one-on-one personal training to get you where you need to be. Located at 734 Garden Road in beautiful Clintonville, their 4,000-foot studio is the perfect place to begin your journey. So come on in and speak to a qualified trainer to find out which is the best fitness package for you.
And we're back. Okay, so we want to do just a quick reaction to the final yesterday. It was very entertaining. I mentioned at the top, it did have a lot of the same elements as the MLS Cup final. We had our bracket challenge going. I haven't looked at the final results to see where we as a group landed, but every time I checked, we were very near last place, which is a good thing because that means that somebody else can get some, I think, still to be determined prize. We're going to come up with something.
I've got portions of it figured out.
You have portions of it figured out. Okay. All right. Well, so let's go to our bracket expert, Haas. Please give us a rundown and any information you have about, what the payout is going to be would be excellent. I'm curious. So take it away.
Yeah, so our full bracket challenge, I'll just give a quick top 5 update. Christopher T with 4,835 points in 5th place. Ben S, disqualified, 4,925 points. Jesse M in 3rd place, 5,115. James H with 5,700, and the winner, Derek W. 6,120
Derek.
points.
I know Derek W.
Yes.
Congrats,
to
Derek.
work with Derek W. You still work with Derek W.
Yes.
Oh, congrats, Derek. Is he a listener? He must be, because he's in the bracket.
I may have messaged him in work chat like, hey, you should join our bracket.
So we don't know. I will say that regarding Derek W., and I hope that they did this in Qatar. Derek W. sent me a super clip of all the fan reactions from the Brazil World Cup, and it was the funniest 8 minutes I have ever seen. I will try to dig it up so that we can link to it, because otherwise this is just a dumb reference. But it's just so good, and it's there's just so many hours of footage, and they just cut it all together for Brazil, and it was just magnificent. So thank you, Derek W. If we can find something like that from Qatar, I'd love to see it. Okay, congrats. And what is Derek W. going to win?
So we've got A vest. We've got.
I'm glad that we're calling it a vest now, because until just then, you guys insist on referring to it as a jacket without sleeves.
It's a vest.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, you can go back and look at the tape, but I think like Trey has done it. I don't.
Sleeveless jacket.
Yeah, like
A sleeveless jacket.
there is a name. There's a name for this. All right. Okay. Vest. All right.
And there's another surprise that'll be there.
Is it like an embroidered vest, like from a 3-piece suit, or is it more like
no? It's like a crew.
Okay.
Keep yourself warm, but your arms aren't cold.
Okay.
Vest.
And so we still have
it is
LaMacchia
fleece.
on here, and he was talking about these IKEA bags too. So, Chris, if you want to pitch in, we have gifts to give, and we have debts to pay, and
We've got some podcast coasters, podcast stickers.
Yeah. I've got like 13 years of cruise fire around here. I'll find something.
all right.
Garage.
Thank you.
We are a big budget operation right here.
And then the second chance bracket, Daily F in 5th place with 1,970.
D.
Mark H.
Oh, hey,
2,560 in 4th place. Jesse M.
Jesse
in
M.
3rd place.
Yeah,
4,165. Broke into the top 5 of each.
Yeah.
Dr. L.
Dr. L. Yeah.
Lecter.
I know her.
4,965. And Morton M.
Wow.
The top
So-
finish. No prizes.
The
for
problem
them.
is that there were only like
So how many of
6
those are
entrants. Yeah, there was not.
Yeah, I think there were 7 total.
Yeah, because there
Okay.
wasn't
Got
enough
it.
time.
Yeah,
They only
24
gave you
hour-
like
not
between
even.
the time that it was not 24
It's like
hours.
a 16-hour period to fill it out.
Who was the highest ranked non-pod? affiliate?
Non-related
Was it Jesse?
pod.
Let's give it to Jesse because
Yeah.
Jesse ranked in both.
That works.
Sweet.
Congrats, Jesse.
Show up on Fridays, Jesse.
Oh,
No bueno.
ouch. Well, speaking of Spanish, there's a
That was a top notch
Speaking
segue.
Spanish.
Spanish. Yes. I think that's the language they speak in Argentina. I think many are saying bueno today.
Keep churning
Yeah.
in. That's good.
Okay, so this game yesterday. What'd you think? I mean, did anyone have a dog in the fight? Like, were y'all cheering for Argentina? Did you want to see France repeat? What do you think?
No, the only thing I had done is place a bet with a buddy of ours from indoor for a cigar, and I'd bet that France would win. But that was purely based on talent-wise. I still think France was the better side. Like, if you look at squad, like, compare squads, I think talent-wise, France had the edge.
Mm-hmm.
But I really kind of wanted to see Messi get it, as much as I am not a huge Messi fan.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And coming into this and watching the first 60 minutes, I was thinking this illness in France must have been really bad. Because I felt bad, because I felt like they were just off. Every touch was off. All the movement was off. Everything was wrong. You haven't seen Mbappe touching the ball. They had 0 shots on goals. I was like so disappointed up to about the 60 minutes. That's like, this World Cup is over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is over. This is not even a game.
Yeah.
It was the first half was a total
Well,
But it was
like the
great,
most
though.
dominant half.
But
I've seen
I
like
thoroughly enjoyed it.
the last 15 minutes, I'm going to take us on a sidebar just quick. The last 15, 20 minutes of the first half against Croatia in the semifinal, I saw them. They scored a couple goals, right? There was the end-to-end goal, and there was another PK toward the end of the half. I mean, I told anyone who would listen to me, if they play like this in the final, they are unstoppable, and that is exactly how they came out in the first half in the final. I mean, it was not a game, in my opinion. I mean, there's just like I don't even think France had a shot in the first half. So yeah, it definitely looked one-sided. Chris, what about you? I mean, were you rooting for anyone, or did you have an inkling of which way it was going to fall?
Yeah, no. I was hoping for a high scoring game with good ratings. And I got both of those things. There was, half an hour in the middle where it got a little boring, and I could feel TV sets all over America turning off, which made my skin crawl a little bit. But then it delivered. I think that it was exactly what we needed it to be from a neutral standpoint. A true neutral. I just want to see a good game.
And you could I think, Trey, you said 60 minutes. 60, 70 minutes. The tide changed, didn't it? I mean, it was like, it was like watching a train wreck. I mean, I wanted Argentina to win.
They totally crewed it.
They totally crewed it.
I mean, those of us that watch soccer could feel that. Those of us that are actual soccer fans could see that and could feel that and knew what was coming. Right,
the momentum.
That game, we knew the game had goals in it. Yeah. But from an American Joe sports fan, Joe Sixpack, oh, hey, look, there's soccer on instead of NFL pregame, whatever it's called. Yeah. Maybe I'll watch this for a bit.
Yeah.
After the 65th minute, that game was balls to the wall for 60 more minutes. And that was exactly what we needed it to be.
My father-in-law, which is he's about 70-year-old Midwestern country boy, he wrote me after the game. He's like, Morton, I'm guessing you watched that game. I was like, yeah, I did. I was like, I watched that too. He said, that's the best damn soccer game I ever seen. That was something else. Yeah. I was like, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So then it was a good game.
Well, I will admit that I mean, we had some things going on here. It's 9 a.m. Central Time start time. We got kids, asking for snacks, and like we had it on the TV and we watched it, but around the start of the second half, things kind of started to fall apart, like where you start shifting to watching it on a laptop instead of the TV because you like chasing people around. So I can't say that I was watching like every pass as closely as I was in the first half. And I made the statement after the penalty, the Mbappe penalty in the 80th minute. I foolishly, and I will eat my hat in saying this, but I told my wife, like, this has the feel of the US Netherlands game where like they're up 2-0 and France scores and you think they're going to like mount a comeback and Argentina is just going to push them back down. Like I was like, Argentina is going to score again. This is going to be a 3-1 game and they are going to lock this away. And I don't think I finished saying that. like preaching my knowledge, right? Like this France team does not have another goal in them, and it was
Mark's over here going, "I do a podcast."
Right. Totally. Like so. I mean, I was surprised by the second goal, as anyone would have been. I mean, just because of the sheer speed. That it,
the way he took it. Well, not only the speed, but the way that he took that quickly one time. I mean, clinical finish from Mbappe.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Hey, around the horn now. What sticks with you from this final? What's the image that remains with you?
Haas, you've been quiet.
Yeah, Haas.
Let's hear it from Haas.
I don't have a good answer.
What?
Seriously? Nothing at all?
I was struggling with one of the most intense hangovers I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, good Lord. I'm over here wrapping. I was wrapping gifts for Santa. Like, I'm literally like wrapping my kids' gifts, like trying to watch, like, yeah, honey, I'm paying attention.
All right. Go ahead, Trey.
I'll start it.
The game.
Yeah. To me, Messi is solidified his status as GOAT. And that's coming from somebody who was always a Ronaldo first person. The image of Messi after scoring and then after the final, like literally just everything, he brought it home, which is cool. Like that'll stick with me. Like this was his swan.
His
song.
in and out goal where they stopped it at the line was pretty pretty powerful. I mean, in real time, it looked like a line clearance to me. I wanted them to win. I was thrilled to see it counted, and it was very clearly a goal, in replay.
Yep.
That was awesome. That was an awesome goal. The stop, I actually have it. I have it filmed because I was like taping my TV. I won't get into the details of that, but I was like,
like 75?
Let me. Okay, I will. All right, I will get into the weeds. All right. I have a 5-year-old who had a Taekwondo class, and my wife drew the short straw to take her to that class. And for some reason, our town, which is not a small town, has no coverage for Verizon, and she's like, well, just let me know how it goes. She was mad because it wasn't going to get to see it. So I was filming like every highlight and then texting it to her. So like she has every PK or every penalty like from the end, like individually texted to her.
I'm going to take back my sarcasm and just give a round of applause to Lauren on this one. Like that is phenomenal. Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome that she held you to that standard.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the one I sent her before the shootout was the stop. It was 123 minutes, I think. When I don't even know who I don't know anything about the shot, but there was a shot on goal that was magnificently stopped.
Yeah.
123rd minute.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That image and the Messi in and out goal were the two like just incredible moments for me.
That save that you're talking about, where I think it was a Messi shot.
No, other way.
No, we talked about it was France. It was on Martinez. Martinez saved that in 133rd minute.
Yeah, but it was something on the Argentina side, and then it came right back.
Yes,
and France came right down.
There was goalie made a spectacular diving save to his left and went off the heel of his right trailing hand.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
that was just like the laws of physics intertwined. That was a hand of God, if you will.
Yes.
Save. I think that's one of the images that'll stick with me. But then also Mbappe's second, was it his second goal?
Yeah.
After the PK.
Yeah. The volley.
Yeah. That was the volley was just nasty.
So good.
And I don't know about you guys. I am really, really looking forward to seeing Messi repeat that performance in Rochester on a Thursday for Open Cup.
We're talking about like we want to see like Messi for the Open Cup.
Yeah.
Is Rochester the Stoke on a rainy day for US? Is that
yes. Rochester is now Stoke on a rainy day.
Yes.
No, in all honesty though, I think that, sure, we all joke, he's never done it in Rochester on a Thursday. I think that Messi coming to there's a lot of hand-wringing and consternation amongst the Euro bros about Messi coming to America because it's going to be just like Beckham, and he's not going to go to Rochester, and he's not going to come to Columbus. I think that Leo Messi is going to do it exactly right, and Leo Messi is going to come and learn from all the mistakes that Beckham made. He learned them from David Beckham, and he'll show up and play the games. Miami didn't let that fly with the lesser Higuain. They're not going to let it fly with Leo Messi. I think that MLS has moved past the celebrity tour and is a real soccer league.
No, it's been proven. Gerrard, Pirlo, some of these other coming over did not make a dent in this league.
Exactly.
Honestly,
who was the guy that signed for? Was that Pirlo that signed for New York City?
Yeah.
And he was the second coming of Guillermo.
He was so good in Europe.
Yep.
I mean, it was old here, but he never.
And I can't remember his name. Right.
Yeah.
Dude, no. The bigger disappointment for them was Lampard. Mm-hmm. Lampard signed for them too, and like he was.
Who? I'm sorry.
Exactly.
No, Lampard
exactly.
Yeah.
Lampard. I forgot about Lampard altogether.
He flopped.
You see, my hatred for Chelsea comes back.
Yeah.
So
the only guys that have come from Europe and made a real impact on this league are Thierry Henry,
yeah,
and Clint Dempsey. That's just
Sean Wright Phillips is technically a European, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. BWP.
What about Josie?
Josie had a good half season. Okay, Toronto had their Italian movement. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Oh, Giovinco. Okay, Giovinco counted. Yeah.
But you're talking about the big names. We're talking about the big names coming up. Nobody knew who he was before he came, pretty much.
But yeah, sorry, bring that back to Messi.
All right. Well, back to the World Cup. We're talking about wives. So my wife came down when it was like going into extra time. She's like, okay, now I'm going to watch the game. And I tried to tell her about it. And she said, yeah, I know. I've been hearing you yelling at the TV for the last hour. So I know what's going on. I'm totally up to speed on everything. But I think the memory sticks with me is after the game, Messi just sitting around with his family, just greeting everybody and kind of like that kind of obviously that satisfaction of the completion. The completion of his career, the fulfillment that he has won everything that is worth winning, except for maybe Copa Libertadores, whatever it's called. Sorry, my Norwegian coming in again. But yeah, that was the memory that sticks to my head.
You know, the emotion on Di Maria's face when he scored his goal, where like he scored it, he was excited, and then you kind of saw him like break.
Yeah.
That was pretty powerful too. You know, like he seemed like kind of where he kind of lost himself in the elation. They're up 2-0.
I love that almost as much as Ben saying, why is Di Maria playing? And then he just tore it apart.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of him breaking into tears with the fans chanting his name after the game.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it was great. Well, so I mean, we're not going to dissect the game. It was extremely entertaining.
Yep.
You know, everyone's saying it's, you know, the best final that's ever been played. I mean, I think it was great. I get a lot of the this is the most important election of our lives kind of vibe from that statement. But like, you know, it was an awesome game. And you know, we'll look forward to hopefully seeing some of this in person in 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah. Hard to believe that it's already been a month since we started doing this, but I'm glad to have watched it all with you guys. I probably would not have gotten to watch as much or watched as much had we not planned to like, you know, talk about it in such great detail. So I appreciate you all and look forward to next time. So I think that's all we got for this show. As I mentioned, we got our Ty Phillips stoppage time coming out next week, and then we'll pick back up in January. So till then, go off-season crew.
Happy holidays.
Yes. Happy holidays.
Happy Hosmas.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, and thank you. Chris, again.
Thank you, Chris.
Another acknowledgement for Chris.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sitting in for Ben here at the end. And look forward to talking to you more throughout next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off-season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
But then he claimed that he have the Argentina have the best 2 players in the world, 100%. And I said sorry, and I sent him a picture of Pele with 3 World Cups, and now I pissed him off. So there's that. Can't let him have that for like one day.